Hello, everyone. Excited for you to join us on another episode, 19. I think we're at 19. My name is Jovonni Christian.
Sarah.
We're the creators of Beginning of the Neverending, and we're grateful for you to hear the story of Mr. Shaw. He's going to be going in depth of his life from his family, all originating from Mississippi, Texas, and his journey to where he is today from Covina, starting his own company, Smile More. So I'm really excited for you to kind of hear his story, his life, his origin, and thank you for joining us on another episode. Obviously, of course, subscribe, comment. Please, we want to hear as much feedback as possible. And don't forget to turn on that notification bell. That makes it much easier for us to grow and archive as many live stories as we possibly can. But another person we can add to the wall. Get excited. This painting is from
Jaja Knight.
This is Knight. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for donating and painting to us today. Please check out the descriptions below just to see more of other people's artwork. But to that, just another one on the board. And excited to be able to continue doing these. I hope you enjoy the show and have a good day. We're ready to go. Let's hope. Hey, what's up, you guys? How you doing today? It's your boy Gio. Welcome to the B&E podcast. We're excited to run it back. If something is not done the best until it's done twice. So we're super excited about this show.
Yes, sir.
We have a guest that you might have seen before if you joined in our live show, but this will be the first time you see him over on our kind of recorded show. Mr. Ty Shaw.
Top of the morning.
What's up? And so we're excited to get into the story of him and something that I've learned a lot about him. And I'm actually ready for some interesting topics to go into because I really kind of prepped for the show. So it's going to make it a little
kind of have
fun.
like a sneak, you know what I'm saying, peek. So
it's going to make it way more exciting. So.
Yeah.
Without further ado, we're going to jump into the origin story of Mr. Shaw. And I'm excited to do it again. I'm excited to ask some questions here. But like anything, we're gonna start fresh.
Yeah.
Where are you from, man? Where's the family from? Where's the ancestors? Where's it all start?
Let's see. Ancestors, I could just track back as far as my grandmothers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know my grandfathers. Never had a kind of a thing with them. I think they passed away. I think my father's father passed when I was, I think, like 4 or 5.
Right.
Because I was at the funeral. But besides that, though, my mom's origins are from Mississippi by my grandmother, and my dad's are from Texas by his folks, too. So, and they both moved here around the same age. So I think when they were about 6, and my mom about, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 or something like that. They just both, moved out here and grew up, but they both have those roots. So
your grandmother, when we talked last, you had a lot to say about your Mississippi grandmother. I think there's something about that flavor, that background. Mm-hmm. What type of personality does she have?
Well, we call her Mimi. We don't call her grandma or granny. We don't really do that. Her personality, man, she is a fireball, but like she's the type that will at the same time, like cuss you out, but she would still pray for you in a heartbeat or be there like, an ear if you have to talk or about whatever it is, she's there for you. And I'm happy that she passed that down to my mom because she kind of exudes that almost like times 10. So, my grandma is as rowdy as she is. She's an amazing woman.
You mentioned this word rowdy, which I think is so interesting. Someone to call a grandmother. You think of that most kind of grandmothers are very kind of nurturing, but Mississippi, you have to be born differently. You go through different things.
Oh, yeah. I got stories. Look, here's one for the rowdiness. So I was about 6 years old, and I think my auntie, so they were growing up in San Bernardino.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this was like around 2001.
Okay.
Or 02. And I think my auntie Jasmine or auntie Christina had got in a fight and got beat up, and their mom is rowdy. So one came home crying. All of a sudden, my mom's going to kill me, but all of a sudden I see my mom throwing on gloves. brothers throwing on gloves, sisters throwing on gloves, and this is San Bernardino, so this is like how they handle stuff. There's no calling the police. Like, no, if someone beat you up, it was not fair. We're gonna go handle it as family.
Yeah,
we're gonna back you up, not go jump on somebody, but And I'm just sitting back, and my grandma was right there with him, gloves on, Vaseline. You know how it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, it's just that she, growing up and being one of 12. And, first of all, not going hungry either.
Right.
She's used to seeing people hustle. She's used to seeing folks set an example of how to get it. But at the same time, growing up in that civil rights era too, she's not a pushover at all because that side, the Lees were known to fight back against retaliation against violence inflicted upon them, while some would, kind of, we just want to get by. They were actually like, nah, we got guns and y'all can't come in this town past this hour, so it's best that y'all go around because we know how y'all get down around here. Like, they were like, like Desperado vibe, Django-y, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, Now, as for my dad's, it's nothing like that. That grandma piece. Like, but it's like her piece was powerful. She didn't yell. She just said stuff. And it was like, oh, like, Granny. We call her Granny. It was like, Granny said do that, so we're doing it. Granny said it's just a period thing. And she was even more God-fearing than my grandmother if I were to compare, because she literally lived at church. If I were to call her, hey, Granny, where you at? She's either at home reading something in the Bible or watching the those Clint Eastwood, shows. Yeah. Tombstone, stuff like that, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, yeah.
Or she's fishing.
Oh.
Or she's at church. Period. There was no other way about it. It's she's at home watching the show or going on her way to church or going on her way to go fishing.
You have very independent, very grandmothers. They have to, you mentioned that the kind of grandfathers weren't really there,
Yeah, all I've seen is like women just get it done, straight up, like, and it wasn't by like, I didn't choose it or, it just happened to choose me, so I didn't realize what I was seeing, but yeah, I saw my single grandma raising her 7. Then my grandmother, who had to move away from Texas and separate from my grandfather because he almost shot her in front of, a few of his kids. So, and they are both known as the women that take in other people's kids. Like, I got people that call my grandmother's mom that I've never sometimes met in my life. So I'm like, what you doing calling like me mom, bro? Like, but then I realized like, nah, she actually does play that role for a lot of different people. And that's like a very common thing, And
it's something about grandmothers, and especially in our community, you kind of adopt other children, and not like, but just everyone looks out for kind of like the one other. But that's very different from the world we live now. You mentioned your father's grandmother, I guess Granny, is very cool, calm, and collected. Is your father kind of the same?
Yeah, same way.
It's kind of have the mirrors
same
of
way.
each other.
Yeah, like legit mirrors, and I mean, cool. When you look at it, you can't really like blame them. You know what I'm saying, or even like be like, I guess, shocked, because I'm just happy that they didn't choose anything else. Like, I'm happy that for the time being, where they were, they listened to their parents, because that helped me out. Because I look up at them as, examples, and not everyone can really say that. Yeah, like 100%. My dad listened to grandma, because sometimes, like, there's those kids that live with grandma because mom and dad ain't getting it right, and I grew up around that too, straight up. Where Mimi, my grandma, I actually had to see play mom to some of my cousins, right, like under the same roof. Like, it's just weird knowing that these cousins' mom not here, but Mimi's here.
Yeah,
you feel? Yeah. And yeah, man, it's just like, I'm just happy that my cousins and myself, we were able to have those type of women around us to raise us, because all of the major like boys that kind of grew up together because we're all like around the same age. I think Jordan, he just signed to San Diego State.
Yo.
So that's dope. Tyler graduated high school and everything, played some college ball. And then myself, I went on to play at APU for 3 years and transferred to Mid-America Nazarene where I graduated 2 years ago. And my little brother Jay Shaw played at UCLA for about 3 years, 4 years, then transferred to the University of Wisconsin. And right now he's getting ready for the draft. But all of us grew up in the same house. You feel? So that's why I'm happy that us had the example to like, or we're just blessed to be in that area to.
Oh yeah, because you would think that being in a space, a lot of people
Yeah.
can kind of put you in a space where you kind of give up, you know? Like,
Yeah.
oh man, they're giving my other cousins more attention, or they, like say Jordan, for example, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, because it's just sad because as sure as you see me sitting right here, I have other cousins, like my aunties have kids. But yeah, they didn't have the example. Sometimes Mimi wasn't there. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like I got cousins that I don't even know the name of. And I already know like a few of them been to jail, a few was doing this, doing that, which I'm like, I wish that they would just reach out to us a little bit, or we could do just, just bring that, or just bridge that gap, because sometimes me and my cousins and brother do feel a little guilty because we see that the defining factor between us and our cousins was our moms and what they chose to do.
So what?
Straight up. And sorry, shout out to my auntie Jasmine too, who also raised my cousin as her own. You feel me? It's weird. Like I have an interesting family dynamic, but
I think this is something in my community as well. Like my grandmother took care of my other cousins. She put them under. It's something about grandmothers and mothers in general kind of stepping up to the plate. That's an interesting conversation I would love to have with you on another day.
for sure.
So what type of personality was as a kid growing up in this kind of household? You have a ton of people around. Obviously, you weren't in Texas, right? You're in California.
Yeah, I grew up in Corona, California. I'd say like I was very outgoing. Always couldn't stay in my seat, but I was always playing sports. I was either team captain or being picked first or second type. You know what I'm saying? And I still have a lot. I was and am still very charismatic. I was just like naturally a friend to kids. You don't really think of me as a bully. You don't really think of Ty bullying. That wasn't really my thing. I just wanted to just like be cool with everybody, but just be cool with everybody.
Right.
Like I didn't want to leave out anybody. Like, it even kind of transferred to high school where like people would look at me weird for having some homies who were special ed.
Yo.
I'm like, but I'm kind of getting emotional. It's trippy. That's weird. But, yeah, because it's like, what's the difference? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, like it was, I appreciate it to this day because we still talk on Facebook. Man. And I'm not going to say names, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's just dope because, like, I don't know. Like, I think if people just really just took the time and like, you're just friends.
Right.
Like, just see how that is, bro. Like, this kid walking like or like this or talking like that isn't even that. It's just what he was afflicted with and I resonate with him so much because I have a stutter. And was I bully, bro? Oh, was I bully?
Yo.
Bully for it bad. So I see myself, in like again in everybody. The athlete, the music kid. 'Cause I, play guitar. The weird kid because I stuttered. The nerdy kid because I kind of like science. I love science. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
I think what's crazy is
Hey, that's tripping. I'm over here crying on your show, bro. I didn't even know that was.
Hey, man.
Whoa.
Sometimes there's some things in the past, man, that kind of like you just forget about.
Yeah, I have not thought about that in at least like 8 years. Bro.
Someone cares about someone else, and when we're kind of in the world, a lot of people just care about themselves.
Yeah.
So what's really cool is for you to be in a position where you kind of can, at some point in time, be able to lend out a hand. Of just helping out, just being friends with someone else is like a whole other dynamic, especially for people who are kind of in that spectrum, you know.
Yeah.
I have a question here. You said you were kind of being picked on, especially when you were a kid.
Yeah.
And I imagine being someone who's first pick, second pick.
Yeah.
That you're not like, I guess what I'm trying to say is you're not really looked down on, you know, but people pick on people because they are going through some troubling things too.
Yeah.
A lot of people take things that's going on with them and they just try to put it on you, you know. But in your home, was it a good space and a good environment, like a place where you can kind of feel like you were getting that support and love, or were you finding that more into like the connections that you were building with friends?
It was more with friends because I come from a split house. So, not gonna go into too much detail about it, but at one point I almost got taken away from my family by the CPS because of just investigations into, just like, are these whoopings on them going too far? What is a whooping? Like, they had me as a kid kind of give details, and I was like, dang, how'd you make me say that? And then it's weird because I'd say third grade is when I woke up. And like, imagine, what I'm saying, like I'm in third grade talking about, I woke up and kind of realized like infidelity, right, wrong, cheating. How old are you when you're in third grade?
You're probably like
8,
9.
Yeah, and I'm like aware of, okay, cops trying to take me away because I said this. Is it my fault? They're after me. They're after my, like, so.
3 years out of kindergarten.
Yeah, so
Like,
home,
yo.
it was just, I recall mainly just trying to watch TV, play with my dog Zeus, and be outside. I don't really have too much memories being in the house. And if I do, it's like I'm playing video games or like, and it's crazy to like kind of, how you said we don't really, think about this. I realize I have a lot of repressed stuff probably like from my house, and I can't, like right now I could probably just think of like Christmas holidays, just pictures of my house. I don't really have memories. If I do, it's probably something happened to me, or like I saw something happen, or just some dysfunction, or some weird, like, yeah. So,
but you mentioned these connections that you're having with friends are like, they're somewhat deep, in a way.
Yeah.
It's as deep as a kid connection can be,
Yeah, and I had to build that quick because with my parents splitting, I bounced around a few schools. So so kindergarten through 5th, I was at Washington Elementary in Corona. Then for 5th grade, I transferred to North Park. Then for 6th grade, I transferred to Palm.
Jeez, this is like back to back to back.
Yeah,
Like,
then for the remainder of 6th grade, I went to Park Ridge, and I moved back to Corona. And then from there, I went to Auburndale. So, like, yeah, in that span, I've been to like 5 different schools before going to high school. So I had to learn, like,
how to make
you need
friends.
homies, bro. Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So I had no choice. Like, I'm not going to show up here and bully that kid. And like, bro, I just got here.
You just got there. Of course you're being bullied. Wait, so are you able to even, are you in the same vicinity? Or are you talking about like when you go to a different school, you have to make a whole new set of friends? Like, are you able to bring any of your old kind of connections with you?
Oh, no. So,
Jeez.
Living in San Bernardino, we had to catch buses because the school was like, I think I lived off of like Palm Avenue, and my school was over there by Cal State San Bernardino. So that's not homies riding a bike down and chilling with you. So, but when I went to Palm, that's when I kind of got bullied too, because I'm a suburban kid.
Right.
So this is my first time around hood kids, and I'm like, y'all are mean, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't know why y'all are mean, but y'all are mean, and I'm realizing like I gotta kind of be mean too. And I kind of realized I don't like being mean. So I quickly like, hey, are you the weird kid? Well, we're homies now.
Yo.
And now that we're homies, they're not going to bother you. Because if they bother you, they're bothering me. And I don't get bothered.
Yeah.
Which I had to like kind of pick up quick too.
Yeah.
Because there were times in 6th grade, I'm friends with a little kid named, I think, Mari or Armani, something like that. And they're saying racist jokes to us. But to him though, and I step up like if y'all don't back up off the homie, like I don't care if y'all don't like how he dressed right now. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So to wrap that all up, with bouncing around, just trying to have my parents figure out what they're figuring out. I'm just trying to be cool, just cool, because home's not home. I got the friends no more. Now I'm over here getting bullied and forced to go to this school, like forced to get up and walk to the bus and catch the bus, and you know what I'm saying, like and I'm just like I'm really hating it low key, but that's when like my parents or my mom mainly enforced sports.
That's what I was gonna ask. The extra, like the kind of extracurricular activities. Essentially, what was the outlet? You know, and you mentioned you did some gaming. You also mentioned that like
So my first sport I played as a kid was basketball.
Okay.
And it was the Corona Jazz.
Yo.
It was funny because it was back in the day, man, when your jersey was a shirt.
Yo.
You know what I'm saying? It was a big old shirt, big sleeves, tucked in. It's almost as long as your shorts. The hoops are this high.
The and ones. You ever seen those and one videos?
Yes.
Of, like putting the ball in the shirt.
Yes, and like booming around. Yes, bro. We was in like stuff like
Old
that
school,
big.
Yeah.
And
good times.
That's where I started. Like that was my first time. Like, also teammates are friends too, or this is my escape for friendship, you know, and so that just went from, but the same dynamic it jumped into sports. So it's like I wasn't really able to escape it really because now because I always played above my age group because I was always bigger a little bit.
Yo.
You know, so this is not football. So now I'm like 5th grade, but they're like 7th grade. That's a difference. You know what I'm saying? Like 4th, 5th grade, and they're like 7th graders. It's like, you know. So, but with that, I was bullied because like, oh, now I'm the youngest around them, even though I'm as big as you guys. You know what I'm saying? Now that I'm the youngest, yeah, bully. So now, in turn, which is really cool too, because it's the main reason why I can't ever be racist, because I had to. Again, I'm cool with the white boys, the bros. Then I'm cool with the homies. I'm cool with Jose and them, because it's like, because we just realized like, bro, where are the people that don't bully people? Like where are the people that are just being themselves? And so naturally, I gravitated towards them, and I just have been doing that ever since.
You said your mother put you in sports, and it seems like your mother, your grandmother, kind of in that household, they put everybody in sports. They put all of you guys.
Yeah.
That was like how do you kind of feel about like obviously you don't really have a good safe haven at sports because you're the youngest out and getting bullied. You go to school, you're being bullied. You have to take the bus. You're doing all these things.
It saved us.
Yo.
Because we face everything y'all face, straight up. But football was always on the schedule. So it was always like how you got to go to school that day. It was, I got to go play football that day. So I kind of don't want to be around y'all today. So I have to go play sports, you know? Or I'm not going to smoke because I have practice, you know? Or I'm not going to get into foolishness because Coach Keefe, which we'll talk about again, you know what I'm saying? Coach Keefe is pulling up later. So I'm not going to get in trouble at school because I got practice later. If I miss practice, mom's going to kill me. The coach going to run me to death. Yeah, even as a kid, yeah. You know? So it saved us for real.
Yo.
And
you never see that side. You don't think about that. I always wondered like, why because this is something that enlightened me just now. Why in our community, a Black community in general, right? Is sports so pushed on? And I think it's for that reason. It keeps you out of trouble.
Yeah.
It keeps you going to a place and being on like kind of that schedule, taking yourself outside of that, right? And putting yourself in an environment where people are trying to make the best of themselves, it kind of puts you in a bit like, well, I guess I should do kind of the same similar aspect.
Yeah.
But even in that, right, there's still a whole nother world. You only in practice for 2 hours, maybe 3.
Yeah.
There's still a whole nother world you have to go back and enter into. So it's almost like this tug of war, right? Like who's gonna win?
Yeah.
Right? Is the world gonna win? Is like the sports are gonna like who's So my question for you is like entering into high school, and Was that finally when you're stable? Like, this is the high school. This is the only high school, or is it still like?
Yeah, that was the only high school I went to,
Okay.
and it's interesting because it's like going to that high school, like, saved me again. So I went to Roosevelt High School in Eastville. I had the option of going to Corona Centennial, but coming out of middle school, I had a lot of people that didn't like me, like, and they were like Hispanic, some black, but it's like when coming up in what 07, 08, Hispanic gang culture in Corona was like kind of rising up, and like even the kids are now riding the gang, like people didn't care that they were like ISK like on their backpacks. Like it was a weird like kind of phase in middle school, so people were like openly showing you like, yeah, I'm with ISK or I'm with a CVLS, and I'm like, y'all going where for high school? They said, oh, Centennial. I was like, see the stutter. They said Centennial, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not going there, bro. Then we had Norco, and I was like, I heard y'all are racist though. You know, so I'm like, where are we going, Mom? She's like, I don't know, like you tell me. And then, guess who put me in high school? Coach Keith.
Yo.
Coach Keith, man. Coach Keith, shout out to you, brother, man. You have helped so many athletes in the Inland Empire become just great men. And again, keeping them off the streets, keeping them from being statistics. He has more people in college, graduated college, on their way to college, in the league than any coach I know right now. Like, legit. It's over a dozen.
How long were you working with him?
Coach Keith has been my coach. So he coached me from basketball.
Yo, we're talking about like...
Yeah, so he was my first coach. He was my second basketball coach. So, but he's my first football coach. He was on that staff. So I joined the Corona Panthers in 05, I think. Or no, 04. I was like fourth grade playing clinic. That was the level. And he was on staff. And from there, he saw something in me, had me play basketball with him. We were called the Running Rebels. We was hard because we was the only team at the time with the reversible jerseys.
Yo.
You know what I'm saying? So we was playing up at the at some arena in Upland down here. I think not Hacks. That's in Hawthorne. But he would take us in straight up. So let's say kids get out of school at 2. Keith has driven from Corona to Fontana, Riverside, Rialto, San Bernardino, Ontario, pack these kids in his car, take them to practice, coach them up, and like we were winning games. Like we were nice. You know what I'm saying? And then feeding us too. So if he had to pick you up from school, he would take you home too. There were athletes like he'd pick up some of the kids from school and be their same ride home that day. Like I'm looking at like we're not getting home till nighttime, but it's not normal to us. I'm out at 2, not getting home till 9 or 8:30. What homework? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, life was hard, but we didn't realize what he was keeping us away from. It's like we never had a chance to look and get curious. It was always this, and even he was my coach in high school.
He was involved.
He put me on the Roosevelt, and he even went on and tried to help me because I never made grades until my senior year. So about week 6 every year.
Wait, what?
Yeah, bro. Like, yeah. So the transition from elementary to high school was from middle school to high school was the hardest one. Like it just got harder. Stuff was, because it's like I'm also seeing my parents try to get back together. So, but it's still dysfunctional. Like, and I'm still getting abused. No one knows it, but yeah, I was getting abused in high school. And so it was like, yeah, F school, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like so like now you kind of get the picture of I'm always trying to find some connection because at home is so rough that at one point home was so rough I just said forget it. Like why try? Like what? Like no, this is social hour. I get to be social from 7:40 in the morning to 2. I get to lift weights with the boys and go and play football knowing damn well I'm only playing 6 games this season. Like that was life for like 3 years. So I didn't make it. I didn't play a full season of football until my senior year. Straight up.
So you're
that's a lot to take in, bro. Man, straight up.
You mentioned Coach Keefe is kind of like the father figure in a way.
Mm-hmm.
You're taking a lot of the mentorship from him because you're in a position where what are you gonna do? You know, you're on a schedule. You have things you have to accomplish. You also know that life is coming, right? Like the clock's ticking, graduation's hitting. You know, but you're just trying to survive. It seems like a lot of the kind of the beginning times is just trying to find a foundation somewhere you can just like set your feet and just reset. But it didn't seem like you ever got that chance. Like you're literally if you're out from 2 to 9, like you got barely a time to like be in your own thoughts or like to be able to kind of like, what do I want? What does my life look like? Exactly. You're always just trying to like fill it in with something. Now you're being productive, but then you're kind of sacrificing school. Is your brothers, are they able to, can you confide in them? Like, because they're going through something similar, you know?
Yeah.
Your brother, excuse me, not brothers, but.
Well, that's the thing. So with the split household, me and my brother, we start being the same way.
Yikes.
Like legit, like think of how a split mom would look at her ex-husband or how the husband looks at his ex-wife. That's how me and my brother were. Like, I don't like you. He's like, I don't like you either. And it got to hate even like we were, spewing the worst things to be said at people to where it's like, it hit me like this isn't even mine. Like I'm not going to fester this generational curse of hatred, bro. You know? And unfortunately, it started as kids and just was left unchecked. And that's what I want to encourage a lot of parents now. If there's something going on with your kids and it's not checked, check it because you don't know what kind of monster you could be accidentally making. Legit. Or like not even a monster, but a monster of a situation you're making. Like, what if my parents sat me and my brother down and said, y'all going to go to counseling or whatever it is until you get it right. If it takes a year, we're going to, until you get it right. You know, I would have loved that versus just allowing us to not like each other for years and years and years and years and years to where it took us, 27, 10 years ago, 17, 23 years of us just not being cool. If I'm 27, you know what I'm saying? Or 20, there was at least 20 years. Like, it's like almost like pushing that of us like not being cool, that we're just now being brotherly like.
Right.
It even still feels weird sometimes. But yeah, I just know that if it was checked, it wouldn't even be like what it is right now because we would have, you know what I'm saying, it would have been checked. Like, what if you let one weed grow? Yeah, it'll ruin the whole garden. But if you stop it, it might have just ruined a plant or two, but that's damage that can be managed. You know?
You're so wise now. Yeah, like you have to hear yourself, right? The way you speak about this past, right? You're wholesome. The way you kind of, you approach this, right? But obviously, when you're in it, right? You don't really have these light in the tunnels.
Yeah.
Like teachers? Like, is it teachers? Like, are they like, hey man, your grades? Let's just anyone trying to like help you with becoming a little bit more mindful, I guess, and more, more conscious in that area. Anyone trying to give you support in school?
During high school, mainly, I mean, it was just my senior year coaching staff, legit, that saved me because you got to think I'm flunking out every year, so who's helping me? You can't tell me somebody is.
Yikes, man.
Like, no offense, but I'm saying, like, legit, look at it. I was not successful until my last year. So my help came my last year. So a teacher that stands out to me is Mr. Hernandez from Roosevelt. I think he's retired this year. That crushes my heart. But he taught government and economics, and he would have therapy sessions in class. And he retired, so y'all can't come after him. But back then, he would legit pause the class. Because say like he was talking about like a important lesson about the government or economics. He would tie it with life and let people voice. One time it was weird. This is I recall it. He helped me get cool with my high school ex, and we were beefing for the longest.
Sure.
Because we had the same history or that same class, and we were enemies. But through his class, one time we were sitting there crying, but letting stuff go. He called us to like let stuff go.
Yo.
I'm crying, she's crying, they're crying because we heard about their story. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, this is government and economics, bro. Like, this is what? But that sparked it in me, and I gave him my all.
Yo.
And I got an A, my first ever A. You know what I'm saying? Since middle school, like, I never even got that in middle school. Really, a A besides PE or music. You know, that was very easy. So yeah, Mr. Hernandez, Coach Burrell, Coach Shelley, Coach Worley, Coach Williams. It was a freshman year.
Yo.
I think it's Coach Anjane, or yeah, that was freshman year too. So I just, from a kid and then being in high school, I'm learning my father figures that I'm looking for at the most. I'm just being taught just different lessons from these different people. Like Coach Burrell taught me, like showed me a man can forgive anything, because I just got caught smoking weed.
Yo.
Yeah, junior year. And
jeez, man.
Yeah, it's just crazy how that turn of events, because you got to think I'm already flunking, or not flunking, but like I'm not making a 2.0 average, you know? So now it's my junior year and I'm already in give up mode. It's like showing, you know? Actually, fun fact, that was week 10. We were playing Centennial my junior year. So I actually did have decent enough grades to play, but I ruined it by smoking weed. So I didn't play a full year of high school ball. It was a few hours before playing them, and we already had been doing this all season, junior year. We're going and leaving class early, getting our meal. Coach says, we'll see y'all back here at this time. We go down to the local park. And the parks in Eastvale, like, this was back in like 2010, so it's not really as developed as it is. So there's like a lot of dips and, you know, like spots where we could duck off. So we already built the habit of smoking before every game because we knew Coach wasn't putting us in. So we just sitting there all day, like Coach got us just sitting there. So anyways, we smoked, and then come week 10, we're doing the same thing, but for some reason it's raining and we don't want to walk over to the park and do what we usually do. Then we did it on campus. And we got caught by RoboCop, the worst got to get caught by.
Yo.
And that's when I faced the threat of expulsion. Immediately kicked off the football team, like a good riddance kickoff, like legit middle finger, bye. It got so bad to the point I had my mom go to the superintendent's office because I was getting jokes thrown at me by the staff.
Yo.
Yeah, so like I've been through some weird shit. So I'm walking, right, just back from being expelled. You know, I'm already in the drug prevention class to stay on campus. And a PE teacher, I don't even know her name. If I saw her, I'd probably throw an egg at her. Just to mess with her. She gonna tell me, she was like staring at me. And I was like, hi. She was like, are you? I was like, what? And she started laughing. Like, are you high? I told my mom. She said, what? You know, mom went off and, kicked off the team. And then that's where Coach Burrell comes in. Coach Stacy had just was either fired or quit, thank God. And Coach Burrell came in and said, I don't care about whatever happened in your past. I see you can ball, see you trying to turn stuff around. Do you want to come play again? You let me on the team, turned my life around. I lost 35 pounds because at the time I was 323 pounds. So yeah, I was the heaviest I'd ever been. New coaching staff knew everything, and I got down to 273. Azusa Pacific comes in, talks to me, says, we believe in you too, the head coach, Coach Santa Cruz. And again, more men coming into my life and leading me and showing me. So I legit went from you're not going to graduate high school, loser, failure, druggie, weed head, whatever, to like, again, shout out to LeBron James because he inspired me. He like showed me like being a 2-time champion is possible, and I went to APU and I did it. And I'm like, I'm looking at these rings like, so I'm not a loser, and that's why I wear them. These rings are about 10 years old, bro. This one is officially 10 years old. This one will be 10 years old next year. But I wear them like this, and they're worn out because, again, people told me I wasn't even going to leave high school.
Yo, you have a lot of obstacles in front of you. It's almost, you almost kind of, you hear the story and you're almost like, yeah, I don't blame you if you didn't. Like,
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I hate to say that, but.
Nah, I feel it in my past. And I be thanking God, like, I be thinking that I did not become a statistic because it was knocking.
Yo.
And I almost did, bro. And like, you know, which we'll talk about more on, you know, the next one. But yeah, I was called to trap and all weird stuff has been thrown across my path. But again, I just have to fall on the fact that I've met too many people doing good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And seen too many people doing bad to do bad.
Right.
So yeah.
So I have a question here because one of the things that you glanced over, but before I kind of enter just the college life and that final step, do you know what your kind of relationship with like love was? You know, because you have these men who really gave you some love. You know, especially like saying, "Hey, look, I believe in you. Hey, we're gonna bring you back on the team. Like, hey, I see something in you. I'm gonna bring you out here to our college. To do our thing. Like, it felt like you didn't get a lot of love from like anyone. Like friends were not friends. You kind of got some glimpse there, but you mentioned a girlfriend you kind of had passed with. But like, one of the things I'm really curious about, like, did anyone show you a form of just like, hey man, someone loves you, someone cares about you. Obviously Coach Keefe, it seems like a big support for you that time. But yeah, I'm just kind of curious, what was kind of your relationship with that going throughout high school and beyond?
Nah, I wasn't. It was like, it always came with something. So it made me like how I was raised, so being raised by those coaches who are also my punishers, you know what I'm saying? In a sense, it was hard to understand what love was because it was like, I had coaches trying to pour in my life, but I'm like, but at the same time, you still control my fate. Like when you like when I was signed to APU, like I had got brought in because they were saying some of our players, freshman year by the way, they think you're walking around like you own the place or something like that, and I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean? Excuse my language, I'm sorry, but I'm like, what is that? I just got here. They just told me I wasn't going to make it here. So now I'm here. Now I'm being told, like, by the people I'm supposed to be looking up to, like, I have a coach telling me a complaint that he can't even really formulate into a complaint. I'm like, y'all mad that I walk around? I said, what is that? I said, I don't even know what that is. And then it was hard to be close with him because I had turned rebellious. So they're trying to lead me. Well, I'm trying to be like, you're just my coach, bro. Like, stop trying to be close to me. Because in my eyes, I don't want nobody close to me that could punish me. You know what I'm saying? Because all the people that I've been close to can make me run a lap or can, again, spank me or like this right here. Yeah, that's abuse, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's like love always came with pain. So like I wasn't open to it or I wasn't open to help. I'd rather do stuff myself. Like, so that was my issue with the aspect of love. It's like, loving your parents, but you're getting abused. Got your friends, but then they're bullying you. You got your teammates, then they're doing you dirty. Like I've been in some weird stuff, bro. Like, and this I had to deal with it by myself. Like I'm in high school dating a girl whose news just got passed around to the whole school. No man lead me on how to deal with that or how to step up for her or how to be like, well, how does a man process that? Because that was when sexting was a big thing, you know what I'm saying? It was huge. And so if somebody hopped on your phone with no locks back in the day and sent a picture of yourself, the whole high school had it. So I was in that culture and I was a legit victim of it. Like my girl, everyone has seen her. And I'm sitting here like, do I leave you? Do I because I still like you, but that happened. So yeah, bro, it's just been like a kind of a trial and error kind of thing, because it's been so murky, you know.
But it must have felt like you must. I'm curious how when you graduated,
Yeah,
everything must have felt like, holy shit,
liberating.
yo, it must have felt like,
Oh yeah,
it must have.
yeah, yeah. It was like all this silence I've sitting back, and that's what I'm working on today. Like my brand Smile More isn't even about depression. It's about channeling anger, because I think it's harder to smile from being mad than it is from being sad. You feel what I'm saying? Like sadness is you just need you a cool little joke. You'll shake it off. But when you're mad, it's because you're offended. That's your ego and your pride in the way. And like that's why, like to this day, my favorite verse in the Bible is Matthew 5:8, because blessed are the pure at heart, for that's when you'll see God. You want to have it, or why can't I see from God? Probably because you're not pure right now, or you're not trying to be. Because we can never be totally clean, but I'm saying, you know, because you're actively trying to not be like Him. So I start realizing, let me try and be like Him. Oh, so I'm seeing. Oh, that's where the anger comes from. Ah, okay.
You mentioned you have two people in your that I'm putting words in your mouth, so hopefully you can correct me.
No, yeah, you're good.
But you mentioned that you put two people in your life that you look up to in a big way. Your grandmothers. One of them, the kind of rowdiness, you know, and imagine that's like your football. It's on. You know what I mean? But the other side you mentioned was the peace, the kind of sense of like I want to say religious, but she's either fishing, she's either, you know, reading the Bible, or she's, you know, so it seems like you are finding your way closer to God in a way. It seems that that's a big thing for you as well.
Yeah.
How was that journey? I imagine like going through college is a whole nother obstacle. So was that like a guiding light for you? Like, oh, hey, it's always going to get better someday?
Now, I don't want to get it mixed up. I respect my grandmothers, but I look up to my mom.
Okay.
Straight up.
Straight up.
So, could you read?
Yeah. My question was like, you've gone through this whole obstacle, the past of history as like, you know, your life, it's just hit you. You finally get to this moment where you graduate, and you now like all of it comes to fruition that the only person, I guess you're right, the only person who kind of really stood up with you, right, was your mom in a way. My question is that you mentioned, you know, Matthew 5:8.
Yeah.
How kind of religion plays a way, and that if someone's not smiling, right, it's maybe the biggest reason is anger. You can smile when you're happy. So my question was, you're smiling now, right?
Yeah.
It's graduation time. You're smiling. Is it more of a faith thing that like, hey, look, I knew things were gonna get better. God got me back type of thing, or is it more of just like, you know what, the anger's gone in a way? I don't know if like, you know what I mean?
Nah, it was violence. It was I'm free to now do what I want. Like I wanted to do these things earlier, but now that I'm 18, I'm going to do what I want. So now watch this. I graduated, but I did sign to Azusa Pacific University. So I'm not really, you know, so that was really my vacation. It was like from May to when Coach Cruz needs me, I'm doing my own thing.
Sure.
But at the same time, I wasn't being stupid. I was really getting ready for football.
Right.
Bro, I was out there training, getting miles in with a sauna suit, the whole nine, like just to make sure I'm, you know, coming to camp right. And so when I got to Azusa, thank God for them, because that was my first taste of freedom, was a bubble. You know what I'm saying? It was a controlled area, which is like, thank God. Because I don't know if I would have did the same thing at UCLA or USC or Cal State San Bernardino, but I'm in Azusa, kind of low key out the way. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not it's not around much.
No, yeah, you're right.
But it's a legit little haven because it has everything in the city or the two neighboring cities. So, I got to just see, start just learning like what being a man is, how to manage your money. Don't spend too, like, because no one taught me that, bro. So I've been teaching myself. Like last night, I kind of realized I've been doing a saving tactic that this professor just suggested in the lesson. I'm like, I've been setting up money in my savings while allocating a allowed amount to hit my checkings, and then once that depletes, I go to my savings and piece by piece what I need until my next paycheck, so that when the paycheck hit, I still got about a band. Cause you know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, hey, I've kind of been doing that, you know. So you know, and that's just the start of it. I learned how to be a man and what manhood was, and it was just me learning myself. So,
so you're actually like kind of falling in love with learning now. Like your senior year is kind of the first time you actually were like, I need to get in these books.
Yeah.
And you graduate, and you just don't stop. You're like, all right, look, let's still some things to learn.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's
straight
really
up.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Because it was like now I'm free to go through something without someone trying to tell me how to feel about it, what to think about it. Like, do I really like God or not? Like, I'm at APU, but that don't mean I got to like God. Because I'm telling you, people dreaded chapel. He had to go 3 times a week, and I found myself at first, I don't like it. Then I'm in there crying. Then I'm in there giving my life to God. Then I'm over there getting baptized. You know what I'm saying? So it's like graduating and being in that bubble again, it was just a dope atmosphere. It was like a controlled experiment almost. Like God was like, I want you to find me, but I'm not going to make it too hard. You know? Like, I want you to find me. So you're going to go to this university, but you're still going to be learning on your own. Like, and stuff did cross my path. I had Allah cross my path, Mother Mary, Buddha. That all crossed my path, like straight up. But for some reason, it just reigned true, Christ, for some reason. And it was all natural. I didn't have nobody, you know what I'm saying, hey, Ty, when you going to get baptized? Because the time that did happen was my mom. And I was in high school. She just wanted me to be she just wanted to know that I was good before going out, you know what I'm saying? And I thank her for that, but I did it on my own. November 15th, 2015, I got baptized at APU, and yeah, like leaving high school is where I gained the freedom to just really learn and just learn on my own terms.
In a really good environment too. APU is like, if you talk about a space where you can just kind of reset and be able to find like what type of person you want to become, it's really, really good spot to be in.
Yeah, we had this hashtag. It's hashtag have it all at APU. Straight up, you got the beach 30 minutes that way, LA 30 minutes that way, Big Bear Mountain 30 minutes, or the mountains, wherever you want to go. And then anything food, we got it. 24-hour food, churches, then not churches chicken, I mean like, you know, churches, but housing. Like, it was legit a bubble. So I'm like, and then again, you have your weirdos, you know.
Yeah.
Because it is a city, like, and that was my first time getting pressed by a gang. They didn't tell you about Azusa 13.
No.
They didn't mention that. And I got pressed by them. I'm like, I didn't even know y'all existed. Like, I thought this was Azusa. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, but that was me. Like, I was also green, you know. So I'm like learning, like, hey. So now I kind of tighten up, like, all right, this the city, you know. And yeah, man, it was just an awesome spot to begin adulthood.
Sure.
So.
Obviously, football is a big part of your life at this point.
Oh yeah.
What was the journey like with that?
Football's been cool. It's been a little bit tough. I'd say transitioning out, because you gotta think, if I've been growing up football, I kind of grew up and realized, okay, football's over. I didn't make it to the pros, so who am I? What do I like? Thank God I was a rebellious student, because I was finding out, you know. And unfortunately, some people are going to realize that once they don't go pro, this is when you start figuring out who you are. And the journey, it was tough.
Right.
I was cut by APU, had some mental health stuff go down. Like my last semester there in 2016, I think the spring. The whole semester I was seeing academic advisor because I was on probation. a therapist because my head just wasn't. I don't know why I was so sad all the time. And 3, I had to see a nutritionist because I don't know why I kept binge eating. I was gaining weight. It was happening again. Like, I'm like, yo, why am I? I'm like 295. I said, when was, bro? Yeah. At one point, I was 33% body fat. Yes. My last semester at APU, yes, I was 33% body fat. But my first semester at MNU, I was 16%.
Oh, you went to work.
Oh, went to work, bro. I left APU after they cut me. It was like almost another graduation. It was like, now you see what being a man is like without God. And got my ass kicked out of APU. Not even kicked out, I keep saying that. They just took my scholarship because they knew I couldn't afford to come back in the fall.
Sure.
So that's what happened. And again, didn't flunk out no courses, classes, none of that stuff. Never flunked out. That's why I'm like, ha. But yeah, then going to just being cut, trying to go to University of Arizona, try to get in there, but the the transcript, the 3 courses that they thought I would fail at APU, I got extensions on because God loves me.
Let's go.
You feel me? And I got the extensions, and I passed my courses, but they didn't post on my transcript. They posted 3 incompletes, which don't tally into a GPA. It just tanks it. So they're like, yeah, if you got 3 Fs, you're sitting at dude, it just took a 2.0 to get in.
Yo.
I don't know. It was a sweet year for Arizona, a sweet year. I said, it take what to get in? So, didn't meet the requirements. So I said, forget you guys, man. You hurt my feelings. I'm going down the streets, and I hope we beat y'all up. So I went to ASU. They were like, well, we like where your heart is, but unfortunately, you've been at that school you're at for 3 years. You're given 5 on a nonstop clock as soon as you start. So be it that you've been in 3 years, you'd have to lose 1 to qualify to come play with us. You'd have 1 year of tape time, and we don't want to waste that time.
Right.
Like, we're going to recruit freshmen and transfers. And they sent me on my way. Tried to go to Dixie State. Coach was loving me. I went up to a camp at Centennial High School in Corona, tossing kids around like freaking body bags, bro. I'm like, why am I even here? This doesn't even feel right. Like, this, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm fresh off rings. Like, I've been around and playing. I'm like, I shouldn't have to do this. And he was like, yeah, you're good. You don't have to do no more. He kind of pulled me out the camp. Was like, we'll assign you. We'll talk more details as, camp approaches. And camp approached and went. And they didn't say anything to me. Stopped talking to me, I think, 2 weeks before camp. And then I'm thinking, well, that's the end of football. I'm watching my brother go to UCLA, or about to sign there, trying not to be envious, which I want to thank God for, because I prayed that prayer. Like, if anything, I want to be his supporting figure or factor. I'm not going to look at his gains as, why didn't I get it? Because he put the work in.
Looking at his food as yeah.
My brother is a hustler, straight up. And so, anyways, I call this number I see in my phone. Haven't talked to him in 4 years. It's the former D coordinator of APU. Say, hey, Coach Boomer, it's me again. But he didn't pick the phone up, and I just left a voicemail saying my situation. I just left a meeting to try to become some kind of insurance agent. Hated every second of it. Feeling like this ain't me, bro. I'm like, we don't even got the degree, Ty. Like, what? And so he calls me back and says, I could have helped you find somewhere to play, but you're going to come play for me. I said, dang, that's lit. And this was in December of 2017. And I told my family, I didn't get y'all no gifts, but for Christmas I signed to a university. I bounced back, first one to ever do it. I'm the first Shaw to have an athletic scholarship, straight up. So I'm the first one to go get 2.
Let's go.
Even though my brother did it twice, I was the first one to do it. Because he went from being a Bruin to a Badger. But yeah, and I get there. Of course, I'm still like, I don't know what love is. So I'm trying to figure it out. in all the wrong ways, and I end up having to beg for my spot. Because when he got there, he signed me and then left. Same semester. And there's this politics in football where the new coming coach don't got to honor none of y'all.
Right.
He can be like, yeah, I don't like you, so we're going to have to. And there's nothing that you can do about it, too.
Right.
And that's why I hate football, because there's
politics.
The only empathy you feel is on the field. That's it. That's the empathy. That's the feeling. But once you get behind those closed doors in the boardrooms, no emotions. You are number 95. Period. And that's how I was kind of treated for a little bit. Like, the coach didn't give a damn about who I was. He just wanted to know why you here, because I don't like you. You know, it was like, hey, you want to get to know me? He's like, no, I just don't like you. So either you get with the program or we're going to find a way for you to get out of here. And I tried my best to get with his program. So I come from a private Christian school that is a championship program. He wasn't scaring me. I'm like, you're just saying I got to up my standards of living? That's fine, because everyone around here doesn't like to be Christian. Everyone on the football team, or most people on the MNU football team, was acting like going to church was bad. Going to chapel sucked. I'm like, that's why y'all are the way y'all are. Straight up. Hurt, sad, and lost. So he thought he was intimidating me, and I was buying in, and he didn't like that.
So odd.
It's like, why is he not crumbling? Because I'm not one of them. I'm not like them. You don't know that I just came from this, where they had me unlearn being a loser and learn that God helps me win. And that's all that I see. And so we got to one of my exit meetings. I have 1 year left of ball, or not really. I just thought I had 1 year left at the time, but he was saying like, yeah, I don't think you liked being here, Tyshaw. I said, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, what? Like, first of all, I transferred in, broke my rib game 1.
Yikes.
For the team. You know what I'm saying? I already had like 5 solos before the first half.
Yikes.
You know what I'm saying? 5 solos and 1 sack. I'm going nuts.
Yeah.
I'm a defensive lineman. I shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
Because that means I'm going through a person to get it done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so break my rib, come back, and I think I missed 4 games, and they were trying to like look at me like, you were doing all that tough talk. Why could you come back? It's just a broken rib.
It's like, what?
I said, what? But see, this is where and people don't notice though. I went through this, man. This is where the devil was really messing with me and people didn't realize it. I was on painkillers and barely sleeping for like a whole, like for weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like for at least 2 months. Yeah, you're not going to like me. You know what I'm saying? Like I got coach saying like, Ty, why aren't you paying attention in film? It's like, I don't know why I'm not paying attention. I don't know why. Like I'm like legit trying to be engaged, but I've been outed and I'm being talked down on. And the coaches asked me, why can't you play through the rib? Is it that bad? I'm like, it's a broke fucking rib. You know what I'm saying? But they're looking at me like, but you're supposed to be this guy. I'm like, bro. And so when I came back,
bananas.
You know what I'm saying? So when I came back, I jumped up to at least top 5 in tackles. How am I almost, you feel me? How am I top 5 and I've been going for 4 weeks? I'm balling, bro. I'm at like 25 solos by, I think, so if it was so it was like, yeah, like before week 8 or something like that. There's only 10 weeks, you know, and I missed 4 of them. So I'm still up in the ranks, and here we are at the end. I'm being told I don't want to be here. I'm like, bro, like what are you talking about? He's like, well, you have attitude and this and that. And I'm like, I'm not late to practice. My grades are not bad because I'm out here in Kansas doing it on my own.
Kansas. Yo.
You know what I'm saying?
Yo.
I'm not late to meetings. I don't argue with the coach. I'm the one telling people to shut up because coach is talking. You just don't like how I lead. You probably just don't like that I don't look like one of them. Like you wanted me to be him so bad that you're mad that it's not adding up to that. And so it's trippy, but as sure as we were sitting there talking, I heard God tell me, you're going to have to cry. And I'm like, for real? And he's like, so I went to Hollywood. But coach, but even though I know, but I'm like, but coach, like, I've given this, I've done this, we sat down, you had me go in front of the whole team and tell them had them tell me what they don't like about me, just so that, weird shit like that. Don't know why he had me do that, but I've done weird shit like that where I'm standing in front of the whole team asking them, why don't y'all like me? And keep in mind, none of them have this. None of them believe in God. None of them went 20-2. None of them, you know what I'm saying? None of them, but I'm in front of them asking them, why don't y'all like me? Losing program at the time. You feel?
Yo.
So after me shedding them tears, he said, and that's when the coach, the D coordinator, sitting next to me. Thank God he was there. His name was Coach Baston or something like that, or no, Coach something. I don't know his name, but he said, well, hey, man, look, I think he really means it. Then I got to stay on.
Let's go. Hey.
You feel what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, I just want to graduate at this point, bro.
It's just like,
and I was like, I had aims for like semi-pro, CFL, XFL, the whole bit, but I'm seeing that you people have no heart. I can't navigate in that because I rebel. So if I know you're a heartless person and I'm big on having a heart, I'm going to fuck with you. By the it's like I can't help it. It's like it's weird because it's like I just have a thing for if you are just a jerk or whatever. I know how to make jerks mad because they're in the flesh.
Right.
So it's really easy, and that's what I did with my coaches and my staff. I like kind of messing with them on the low where only me and them knew he's messing with me.
Right.
So.
So I have one final question here because you graduate college, and then you have this business.
Yes, sir.
And it makes so much sense now. It makes so much sense, this whole Smile More thing, because it's really a compilation of your life in a way.
Yeah.
Like makes so much sense, the brand you're trying to make now. Because hearing your story and just kind of the life that you lived and kind of like the way you see yourself and the way you transformed from being this kind of like when you're a kid, you were so excited and motivated. You're like you're this exuberant kid. To go and get hit by bricks, like getting stoned, literally what it feels like. To get yourself to a point where you graduate high school, you go to a place where you're like, cool, and you're killing it, doing a great job.
Appreciate you, brother.
And then they do, and then you're like, okay, well, life just hits you again. All right, but you just don't back down. You essentially just always fight for more. You keep smiling, and it's dope. I'm curious on where that brand comes from, and like the next chapter for you now that you're home. Kind of what's the goal set from here?
Well, my brand's called Smile More, and I want to shout out Amy. She's my tattoo artist back in I want to say Gardena or Bellflower. She follows my page, so if you go and check us out, it's SMYLE, M is in Matthew, so SMYLE.MOR. You'll see me on Instagram, and primarily it's a multimedia brand, and it's an acronym. It stands for Struggle Makes You Love Everything, and Mind Over Reality. And you'll see on my blog, I'm just kicking free game. So essentially, I'm giving you what the world's trying to tell you, but this is what it really is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're walking around with an identity crisis, or no, you're lost in life. Nah, you probably just have too many people trying to tell you who you are, and you need to get rid of those thoughts. Like that's something that I had to do, and that's what the one of the main goals of the brand is. It's like it stands for truth, and not just any truth. It's the truth, God's truth. It doesn't waver. It doesn't bend. It's not my truth. It's a truth that exists, and I have to agree with it, even though I might disagree. But He is perfect. It's the standard. Matthew 5:8. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I just saw within myself and my community that we were in need of something, but very misled. Like me and my boy were talking about Andrew Tate the other day, and I'm like, he's cool and all. Like, just because he's saying something that's right about what he sees doesn't mean he's leading me to fix the problem. You can tell me it's hot in the room all you want to, but how are we going to turn the thermostat down?
Right.
And to me, turn the thermostat down is like turning you to God. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, where are the leaders leading you to God? Oh, they're dead. Probably for good reason. Like, it makes sense to me, bro. Like, you got to kind of peep game, which we'll talk a little bit later. Like,
oh, dude.
Like, why is Jesus the only one mocked? I don't see Buddha mocked. Allah, Rose, Mary. Mary. I don't see them mocked, but my Jesus is always mocked for some odd reason. That's interesting. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, I just wrote this piece about why we're called anti-world media. Let's look at the Bible. What did God say? The world hated him. So if the world hates you, it's probably because you're acting like him. But then if the world loves you, it's probably because you're acting like what God don't like. So let's step back and look at your leaders now. Who's on TV getting the most buzz? Let's apply that principle to them. Look at their life. Andrew Tate. Yeah, sit your ass down. You know what I'm saying? You're not leading to anything. You're actually this, bro. And we're going to find out.
So
you know what I'm saying? So I exist to lead you guys to the right way of thinking, or a righter way of thinking. It's anti-world. It's just whatever the world's thinking, we're probably going to do the exact opposite. Just so you know, off the rip.
Going off, you're just kind of the whole, obviously, flesh mentality, right? Like, your goal is to be away from flesh as much as possible and kind of get closer to the Holy Spirit. And I think it's cool that you're kind of grounded in faith, and you have a goal and a drive, right, to kind of share your message. And I think your brand is really special, because I think the one thing that hearing from your story, right, like the one thing that you really, really wanted, right, was just for someone to give you that time of day and just give you a chance. Like you mentioned, you and your brother, if you just had the opportunity to sit down with a counselor, therapist, whatever it may be, and be able to work out those things, you'd be able to be in a so much better space, get you to figure out how you think. But you have to do it yourself. You have to be the person that takes that step forward. And I think it's really cool what you're trying to do. You're putting yourself in a position where you're going to try and give people what you didn't really get in return. And it's not like you have to, it's not like you're like, I don't want to say this the wrong way, but just begging people to do it. Like, you got ranks, man. You know how you can play sports if you want.
Yeah,
you could join XFL if you want to. You have all these. You have an option, but the fact that you're choosing, like, hey, look, I feel like God's calling me for this direction. I think that's really cool for someone to take that jump and to do that. I think that's someone that shows the type of person that you are. And
it wasn't easy making that transition to figuring out what I want to do, because I spent years trying to play ball still.
Yeah.
Tore something in my knee, tore my labrum in my shoulder, and I'm still out in Kansas trying to, put camps together. But the pandemic was sent, and it put a pause on everything, and it really just showed me, like, you don't have to be football. You never had to be football. And I'm like, really? No one ever told me that. So now I'm realizing, so what can I be? And that's what my brand is, like, getting you to think, like, what do you want to do? Like, you're playing ball, that's cool. What if you want to keep playing ball? That's fine. Yeah. But at some point, you can't run up and down the field like the next man. You know what I'm saying? And that's going to hit you. And if you've been chasing the bag, for your entire life, you're going to have a big old, and I went through it, which is why I wrote my piece, like, about having the negative thoughts and, like, lies told to you about who you are. Because I was told that you're an athlete. You're an athlete. You're an athlete. Athlete. You're good, Ty. You're fast. You're strong. And I'm like, cool. Now when I start getting hurt and not playing ball, I'm like looking around like, so guys, what am I? There's no guys. I had to figure it out. I'm like, all right, bet. So now that I figured this out, let me help the next man not go through this as bad. Because it just feels weird knowing I have this brand that continuously gives free game, but I see my homies struggle. Mentally, at least, or like they don't have that mental peace while in that storm, because the storm, it's inevitable. You know what I'm saying? But I don't see them able to at least make sense of their internal storm, and that's all that my brand does. So
looking back at your life, man, how do you kind of feel about it? Like, you just, it's the second time you retouched this, but like, how do you feel about your journey, and from kind of where you are to where you are now? We kind of the beginning, right?
it's just beginning, because I'm now realizing that it's just trippy. I was a really good athlete, and I'm like getting out here realizing that I'm really good at being good at life too, not just good at football. So, just moving forward, like this is the main thing, and what it looks like is I have a gaming channel, I have a blog up.
Let's go.
I'm writing a book. I have Instagram up, YouTube under the works, and in the future I want to have you on for a episode, because I already got my location for the podcast and all that stuff. I'm just building it. I've been behind the scenes, just learning, and really like observing the world, it's just really been a real treat. Yeah. It's almost like I was asking God, like, am I supposed to be famous or something like that? He's like, not right now. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm like 26, 25. He's like, yeah, but not right now. So, and how you said, like, you just keep learning in life. And I'm like, yeah, that's just what I've been doing, because I get to just legit sit back and be like, I got 8 pieces written right now that I haven't put out yet. That, I just get back I just get to see, like, okay, Biden said that. Let me go and write something about that.
Yo.
NBA young boy, yeah, let me go write something about that. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna be jumping out on YouTube and in front of the camera now. So it'll be mainly you seeing me talk.
Sure.
And again, bro, it'll be lit to have you on.
No, I'd be honored. Yeah. I think one of the things that I feel is really important is kind of the future,
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's important to surround yourself with people that you know.
Yeah.
And I don't have like nowhere near of a story with you, my friend, but I definitely understand what it feels like to be around people who kind of use you and take you for granted.
Yeah.
And to be around someone who's fresh and who has like a really cool perspective, I would love to be around someone like that. So absolutely, man.
Sure.
So I guess I haven't said this last time, but what's the dream, man? What are you fighting for? What do you want out of life? Kind of looking back at your life now, you mentioned kind of your goal of just being able to build that brand. That's a big priority for you. What's your dream for that brand?
My dream for the brand is it being a one of a kind. It'll be the first, it'll just be the first of its kind. I'm just gonna be in so many avenues. I want to get into athletics.
Oh, okay.
Like, I want a academy of sorts. Like, I want a spot to where you can come train for football, but also you can come and learn. You can come and study. We offer courses, you know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. And that's like a 8-9 year plan,
Sure.
And just like before that, like a goal I have is to have a kind of a give back 7-on-7 tournament.
Yo, love it.
But I want the schools in the area to compete, if that makes sense. It's like an off the record, like, your city put up this, their city put up that. Everyone's going home with something. This goes back to your programs. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna put too much out there because I don't want people biting off me. They always do.
Of course.
But yeah, it's like I just mainly see myself getting kids to God and then to college, because someone did it for me. I was supposed to not be in college. I was supposed to be trapping, slanging, baby mama or two, legit, because I got a cousin that is just like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, my goal is to actively now do what my mom and her grandma and, her family did for her, but now as a black man, because that's what we really need right now. So.
Word.
Yeah.
Any, before we do that, we have a list of questions we want to ask you, okay? We call it deep questions.
Yeah, bro.
We're going to move into the next dialogue of things. So we get to go and we have some cards that we have and just ask some questions about your life. I wonder, it's exciting because me and Sarah were thinking about like doing different questions, but we want to do the same as last time. Because we wonder how to maybe expand on that and make it a little bit more interesting. So,
okay, for sure.
So we pull these out really quick. All right, cool. So, first of them, okay. First question. I wonder if you can remember these, but let's see. What do you think you were born to do, but aren't doing, and why?
That's the thing. I'm doing what I was supposed to do. It's trippy how the answer was different last time.
Yeah, you think about it though. Yeah,
but sure. I appreciate that because that first time sitting down, I already prayed about it. God was like, that was just to get you a quick little kick in the butt to like see how the podcasting feels because it's my first time ever doing it.
Yeah.
And I've wanted to have like my own,
Yeah.
Because my own podcast when I had it, I was doing episodes, upload them to Facebook.
Okay.
Off my phone.
Yo.
I just want to give someone free game real quick. It's such a dope concept. Record your voice on voice memos, then have a picture, right? And then once, go to your battery settings, have it to like never turn off, go play that audio, and then have the picture on your screen and screen record. You have audio with the visual of whatever thing you want to have in the background. That's how I was uploading podcasts when I was in Kansas because I didn't have this. I was legit sitting in the corner of my room by my speakers with my own music that I make on my SoundCloud, Gemini Ty. But that's how I was doing it. So now I'm seeing like this is actually pretty lit.
Yo,
I'm actually now intentionally I'm doing what I'm supposed to do now.
You're a creator.
Yeah,
that's dope.
So
okay.
But it's trippy how that was not the answer.
No,
last
it's not,
time, bro. And
no, it wasn't.
If you didn't catch live, you missed the answer,
Yo,
bro.
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
100%.
So, yeah, dude.
If you could have any job in the world, what would it be and why?
It is my job. I'm doing it. Like it's trippy. I want to be a rich individual that goes around talking to people to motivate them while giving them money. There. And like leading you to God at the same time. That's all I want to do. Mm-hmm. And I'm doing it right now is just on the underground vibe.
Let's go ahead.
So this is
Let's
jaw-dropping.
Yo.
I did not. And the answers weren't even this quick. That's why I'm like, I'm answering this with confidence, bro. This is beautiful.
Who have you felt the closest to this year and why?
Closest to this year?
I guess it would be last year.
Last year?
Whatever.
Even though I'm far away from him, God, because just the fact that I had to sit back and listen to him to get back out here, I almost stayed out in Kansas to kind of prove to everybody out here I could keep doing it by myself. Dude, I almost killed myself out there, which we'll talk about some other time. But I'm the closest with him, or I've been closer because just realizing that he made me, knows how I'm, wired, knows what I do like, don't like, knows what makes me weak, what makes me strong, why not learn about someone like that? Even though half the time I don't know what the hell I'm learning.
Right.
It's just the fact that I tried. He honors that. And it's even in his word, he honors that. Like, imagine if you took not even a step to God. Like, what if you just look, if you move your hand towards God like that, he swarms to you, bro.
Yo.
You know what I'm saying? If you just even think of trying to move his way, you know what I'm saying? So, which you can see, bro, I'm now like, I'm feeling my purpose and I'm moving in it. I'm answering these questions with confidence. I wasn't doing that last week, bro. Man. You know what I'm saying? Or last time we were here. So I just look forward to showing people that you can have this too.
Yeah.
Because I would look at people like, man, his faith is bigger than mine. Like, I can't really do all that. But it's like, no, we all got the same faith. He just puts his into work more often and actually trusts it.
Yeah.
I'm like, dang, so I have the Audi too? He's like, yeah, but I know you don't like Audis. So he already knows who my dream car is going to be, and I'm already going to get it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, bro, that's who I've been growing close to.
Man, it's an awesome feeling.
It is.
I guess this leads well to the next question. But I'm really curious because this is something I didn't ask you last time. I skipped this one, but I'm going to ask something.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember.
Do you believe in a soulmate, and why not?
I think that God has people out here for you and out here for each other. and you're just gonna end up with who you're supposed to be with. Like my girlfriend I have now, we have been so close to each other, but never locked eyes. You know what I'm saying? It almost would feel like a soulmate vibe, but something that I firmly believe is that you can fumble a person. So you may feel like that's your soulmate, but you can't do what you want, treat them how you want or whatever, because you have that, oh, we're meant to be. If you're meant to be, then you wouldn't even be thinking like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing I'll be telling her too, like I'm a prize too. Like I'd want to keep you here, and I got to do what I got to do to keep you here. You know, because with my hard work going full, your hard work going full, that makes us equally yoked, and we can move forward. But to rest in the fact that it's a soulmate thing, I don't believe in that, because I myself have fumbled people, because at the same time I wasn't even mature enough to even date them then. But I realized that was a good person. That was me just being a douche. You know what I'm saying? And like vice versa.
Sure.
So I think that there are people out there for you, but when you're at your best, you'll run into one of them. Yeah. And I really think, and it works like that for them too. Yeah. Like there's people out there, it's just that when y'all line up, ding, you know, all right, you know, you got one, you know, and then, you know, so on and so forth. So yeah.
Final question. The same final questions as last time. I'm not sure if you remember this, but I think it fits well with your brand. In what way do you think you add to other people's happiness?
I make you laugh at things. Like you can't ever really be too serious around me or stay that serious. You know, even if something serious is happening, I find the humor in it. And I just did to my girlfriend yesterday actually. Dude, we got in the hugest argument so far. Biggest argument. Biggest one, dude. And we're fuming. And I, again, humbled myself and just like apologized to her. And it was still salty. I kind of still felt it a little, you know. And then I just simply said, like, can you like smile for me? And she was like, and for some reason, it's always when I say a real one, I get the real smile. She laughed. And I know that she likes that about me, because she knows that even though, you know what I'm saying, storm might be raging and we're, like hold on to your hats, like, you know, I'm not going to go anywhere, because that smile that I want to come out of you is just to show that like love still exists in you, you know, no matter what you're feeling. It's just if you just choose to like tap in with it, you'll smile. And that's why they encourage people to fake smile until they real smile. Like that's a real like thing. Like they like therapists and scientists or whatever, they encourage you to bust out laughing until it turns to a real laugh, because it's always in there. Yeah. You just have to just dig it out. So I kind of keep mine surface level. It's easy to, you know, tap into.
Mr. Ty Shaw, any final thoughts? I know you had a lot of people in your life. I even know how big a church was back in Kansas. Any people you want to shout out? Anything at all before we go?
Yeah, my boy Daniel Parrott back in Kansas. He was a very solid brother of mine, and Jonas and Johnny Rowland, and Pastor John Perkin, Pastor Kenny from Nexus KC. If you guys are out in California and you want to get look at some diverse, God-fearing, Holy Spirit-filled, tongue-speaking, person-healing, like church, like, you know what I'm saying? Like how it used to be back in the day. Nexus, NEXUS, KC. Look them up on YouTube. Pastor John is an amazing individual. He, if it wasn't for him being in Kansas, I probably would have killed myself. Real talk, because my faith is my superpower. So at one point it was my weakest power, you know? Yeah. And that church swooped in and took me in, showed me love, actually taught me things in the Bible, not just telling me things. And I really encourage people to, wherever you are, just find find a home church and get tapped in with it, because stuff's only going to get harder. It's only going to get more confusing. And it's best to do it while we're still allowed to. So,
Mr. Shaw, this is I think some things in the world you hear it once, but when the second time when you hear it again, it's just like you're a very special person. I think that's really cool to see the life that you lived and how you've been just getting started. Like, you're not even like,
yeah,
just how much you have not only influenced others, but been able to kind of make a name for yourself. And I think it's really cool, the person you're becoming. And I'm really excited and grateful for you to share your story with us. And this is all about journeys, and no matter how bumpy your journey is, there's always a road ahead. And the fact that you was able to take life into your own hand, grab the wheel, and say, all right, cool, listen, the only person who's going to be touching this wheel is God or it's me.
Straight up.
And I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
I think that's so cool to see the journey that you have lived. And I'm just grateful for you being able to share that with us again. Yeah, man. So we have a painting that's been donated. This is from my grandmother. She I asked her about like the meaning behind the painting, and she's like, well, the light is like, warmth, and the apples, because she's God-fearing as well. She's like, it's about God. And I think it's crazy just how fate works in that way sometimes, where you have these situations and just it's not on purpose. We didn't do this on purpose, but somehow it just seems like it's connected to you really well. Yeah. The light being kind of the smile more,
yeah,
and the apples being your faith in God. And so, So I just I really appreciate we have you on. Thank you so much, my friend. And I'm excited to see if we can sit down again and continue having these deep conversations. I'm really excited to jump into your articles and get to read some of your work and have some deep work into that.
Yeah.
But yeah, where can people find you, man? Where can they follow you? How can people,
Instagram. My main page is tyran.1. That's my full name, Tyran. I'll just go by Ty, because people be butchering it, man. And then Instagram for my blog is where I post all my content. There is Smilemore, SMYLE.MOR. And then SoundCloud, if you guys want to contact me for some audio for your videos or background stuff, I do that too. Just go to SoundCloud, search Gemini Ty. I got a decent following there too. And Fix Your Crown's going to be coming out soon too.
Okay.
That's my girl's brand. So if you think that I'm doing something like as a man, she's doing her own thing as a woman, and it's just as badass. Okay. Probably even better, bro. For real.
Oh, let's go. Okay.
So yeah. So I really want her to come and sit here too.
Oh, dude, I would love to. Yeah,
that'd be lit.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Erica.
Yeah, let's do it. Might have to have you do the interview. We'll see.
Yeah, sure. Whatever it is, man, for real.
Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Please like, comment, subscribe, follow us. Man, we're just excited to have you guys on, and thank you so much for joining us. And please have a safe Thursday. And see you till next time. Peace.